Hi guys, well here Veronica from the Queen of Novelty Cake Studio, Bio Dark Cakes, and today what we're going to do is this amazing tutorial. As you can see, I start already with a fondant. I got my cake line with the fondant on top, and I just trying to decorate all around the edge with a green fondant. It's really simple technique. You see that I haven't used any other tools than just something to cut it in my wood brush, which is really helpful to decorate the cake. So if you don't have one, I will recommend you to get one because this is a really good tool to use. The other thing that I use, then you can see probably in my background, is the tools that I use all the time to decorate the cake. Would help me a lot. They are amazing tools, all of them, and I just recommend you to have it. You will be benefit with the result. Okay, now we're gonna start with the airbrush. As you can see, I got the blue color in my airbrush basket, and I use the keyboard to avoid paint my number 7. I continue all the way around, and the keyboard covered with a fondant. I trying to focus on the edges so it's more dark there, and I create light and shadows on my cake. I add a little bit of water so I can actually remove the blue color, so I can start painting with green. As you can see, it's not much. You don't need to completely clean the basket because the blue color is actually one of the base colors of green, right? It's blue and yellow, so don't need to clean it up. Great, so as you can see, I haven't actually edited too much this video. I want you to actually have the full experience of what I'm doing. You may not see what I'm doing, but in this moment, actually, one of my kids came to the kitchen, and I told them they need to go. So therefore, I actually stopped airbrushing, and so now we started again. So this is life now. When you're working from home, this is what happen, and we need to make sure that we can actually work in the right moment and the right time. So it's a little bit tough, but we can do it. Definitely we can do it. So now I focus on the airbrush again technique, and I actually start adding green. I start with a light green color first, and start airbrushing on the edges, and try to be a little bit more precise. That's why I'm close with the airbrush. When you actually going a little far, the spray is going in a different direction, so it's more lighter. But in the same time, you airbrush more part or more spaces in the fondant, and therefore I need to do this a little bit more precise. So I need to be more closer. I need to try to make this like a line. So I actually go in from right to left or left to right, and I try to go and press with your finger. And you can see I'm moving my finger faster. Well, we almost finished, and we're gonna start decorating with a fondant decoration already made. hopefully you enjoy this art with the airbrush. Okay, now in this part we're gonna start attaching all of this fondant decoration that I made previously, and I forgot to mention before, but when you airbrush you need to cover that if it's in your surface, otherwise you may spray some color on top of that and you won't be able to have a clear color in your fondant decoration. So now I'm attaching my letters with a little bit of icing, royal icing that I made, and water, and with my airbrush always helps. And now with the water I paint on top of the letters, because sometimes the letters, they got a little bit of corn flour, because that help you to avoid the letters to stick, or the fondant to stick to your mold. Therefore, when I actually put the letters on my cake or my decoration on the cake, if I see them, they got a little bit light or powder on it, I retouch with a brush, with an airbrush, so it's much easier to do. So now I'm adding the buttons and the flowers that I create with these two components. They actually help you to stick really easy the decoration, and make sure you're not touching the airbrush stuff, so you're not actually removing with your fingers the previous decoration. I use one of my tools, and you can see just on top of the paper now, the paper towel, and that is my favorite one to use for any decoration, sugar decoration. Now, well, you can see the intensity of the pixels is being changed, and the reason is because I run out of battery with my phone. So, and I asked one of my kids to allow me to use their device, so I can continue with my video. Okay, now I'm gonna add the same color that I use for airbrush, so the airbrush colors, to add a little bit of darkness. Great, we are just almost in the last part, and now I'm attaching all of my cold porcelain decoration on my cake. So this is something that I enjoy so much, because it's the last process and then I can see the final result. I attach the pieces with royal icing, and it's really easy, and my brush, of course, because sometimes the royal icing can be a little bit too thick, so I try to put a little bit water, because we don't need to put the icing so thick to glue this element on it. I do love so much to do my decoration with a cold porcelain, and the reason is because it's much easier to modeling. They dry quicker, you can do so much decoration, and then my clients, they actually can keep the toppers, which they do anyway, and they can last much longer than the sugar. It's so easy, to be honest. And when you are working in places where the humidity is high, like in UK, you really appreciate to have a product then it can dry quicker and it doesn't break when you touch it. And this is fantastic, so I love that so much, and it's really easy to attach, to be honest. So the product is non-edible, but it's not toxic, so you can actually add it in your decoration really safe in this way. So okay, last one, and now we're gonna add the stars. If you want to see this video, the long version of this video, go to the description box below and follow the instructions to go to my website and see this tutorial for free. Thank you for watching. See you next time.